Hello everyone, welcome back, JavaMentor.net here. In today's video, let's learn how to calculate average of the array of numbers. So I created one naive program which is calculating average of our array. So we are taking first element, second element, third element, we just sum them up, and then we are system out print line sum divided by spendings dot length field on array is representing what is the length of that array, how many elements are inside, and that's giving us a right result. The problem is, if this array contains, let's say, million numbers, how will this code look like? Like million lines of code. That doesn't work, so we need some code that will handle that case. Okay, I skipped that part when I was writing this for loop, but let's go into the debugger and explain what's going on here. The whole point is that this line inside the for loop, so inside those two brackets, will be executed more than once under some conditions. So what's going on? When we come to this line, which is highlighted now, Java, when it comes to this line, Java will first execute this first part before first semicolon. So it will declare a variable I equals 0. Then it will ask this condition: is I smaller than spendings.length? In our case, spending.length equals to 5, I is equal to 0, so 0 is smaller than 5. Only if that condition is satisfied, and in our case it is, we will enter inside the for loop. So if we are going F8, we are here, and now I is 0, our sum is 0, we defined that here. So 0 plus first element, because I is 0, 0 plus first element is 100. Okay, so now sum becomes 100. That's what we see here. Now we are again here. There are two important things to remember. First of all, this part is executed only in first iteration. So in our previous iteration, which was first, I was set to 0. And in all other iterations, this is skipped. So this is not executed. That's first thing. Another thing is, before we check this condition, this part kicks in. So in our first iteration, I was 0, but now we increase I by 1 and I becomes 1. So is 1 smaller than length? 1 smaller than 5? Correct. We are going here and I equals to 1, which means our sum 100 plus spendings of 1, which is second element, 100 plus 250 is 350. That's how we ended up with sum 350. And then we just repeat that until we get to the end of the array. Our I is incremented by 1 again, so I is 2. Is 2 smaller than 5? It is. Increase sum. Is 3 smaller than 5? It is. Go again here. 4 smaller than 5? That's true as well. Go here. Is 5 smaller than 5? Well, that's not true. And then we are not going here anymore. We are going here. But we have our sum, and if we divide that sum by length, we will have an average. And that was all about for loop. Make sure to understand this, because this for loop, you will use this almost every day. So this part of the code will be executed multiple times. How? When you come to this line, in the first iteration, this part of the code is executed. Then, if this condition is satisfied, you go and execute this code. And then you are again here. And then, before checking this again, you need to execute this part of code. In our case, and in most of the cases, is just incrementing a variable. That's how you went through the whole array and did something with that array. There are two last things that I want to explain. Let's say that we want the average, but only of numbers that are smaller than 300. So only average of those two numbers, right? Well, can we say somehow if number is greater than 300, then skip iteration? If that number is greater than 300, then skip iteration. This is the command that will skip this iteration. And if you take a look, if you go to the debug, okay, we are at sum equals 0. So for first element is not greater than 300, so sum will be increased. Second element is not greater than 300, element will be increased. But third number is greater than 300, and we will go to this skip command, which means we are here again. We didn't execute this part of the code. For the fourth number, the same thing is happening. Fourth number is also greater than 300. We will skip that iteration as well. But you will notice that we are skipping one iteration, but we are going to the next number. Is there any way to say, okay, we encountered a number greater than 300, finish for loop. I don't want to iterate anymore. And that's possible as well. Keyword is break. So you will notice, let's give it a try. First number is smaller than 300, so we are not going here. We are increasing sum. Second number is not greater than 300, we are increasing sum. Third number is greater than 300, and we are going to this break command, which will finish the loop. So as you can see, we are after the loop now. In the next video, let's learn about wrapper classes of primitives in Java. See you in the next video.